Hello children, how are you all? I hope you all are fine. Myself is Parul Sharma and I'll teach you computer. So let's start with our chapter 1, that is computer system. So let's start with the introduction. Computer is an electronic software that performs tasks according to a set of instructions or program. Computer always works whatever instructions we are giving to it. To perform the task, a computer follows 3 phases, that is known as input, process and output. In short, we can say IPO. If computer has to perform any task, it has to go through the 3 phases, that is input, process and output. The data which is entered in the computer is called input. Whatever we are feeding in our computer, that is called input. Okay, the manipulation of data is called process. Whatever the manipulation computer is doing, that is called process, and the result of the process data is called output. And after manipulation, whatever the result it is giving to us, that is called output, or we can say that is the result. Okay, to perform these functions, it mainly consists of hardware and software. To perform all these functions, it consists 2 parts. It is made up of 2 parts. That 2 parts, hardware and software. So let us learn about hardware and software. First of all, we'll study about hardware. Okay, all the components of a computer that we can touch and see, they are called hardware. Whatever we can touch and whatever we can see, that is called hardware part of the computer. The hardware can be classified into the following categories, that is input devices, processing device, output devices and storage devices. Now our hardware is further divided into the parts, that is our input device, processing device, output device and storage device. First of all, we'll read about the input device. The input devices are used to feed the data into the computer system. With the help of the input devices, we can feed our data into the computer system. The various input devices are keyboard, mouse, joystick, trackball, microphone, scanner, webcam, etc. These all are the input devices. With the help of keyboard, we can enter our data. With the help of mouse, with the help of joystick, trackball, microphone, scanner, webcam, these all are the input devices, and with the help of these devices we can input our data into the computer. That is why they are called input devices. Now next one is processing device. Now we'll read about processing device. Just look in your books, students. As you know, the picture is not so clear, sorry for this, but look in your books, you can read it from your books. The CPU is a processing device. It is called brain of the computer. Now what is the processing device? Our processing device is CPU, because all the processing is done inside the CPU. That is why CPU is called the processing device. It is called brain of the computer. It is also called the brain of the computer. Whatever the computer works, it works with the help of the CPU, because CPU is the main part of the computer, that is the brain of the computer. It is responsible to process the input data. Whatever the processing is going on in the computer, it is done with the help of the CPU. It consists of arithmetic and logic unit, control unit and memory unit. Now our CPU is divided into three parts, that is ALU, arithmetic logic unit, CU, that is control unit, and MU, that is our memory unit. With the help of these three parts, our CPU is made up. Now what is the function of ALU? The ALU performs all the arithmetic and logical operations. Whatever the arithmetical operations we are giving, logical operations we are giving to the computer, they are performed with the help of the ALU. Whereas this CU, that is the control unit, that controls all the devices attached to the system. The function of CU, it controls all the devices that are attached to our system, and overall functioning of the computer is done with the help of the CU. Now MU, the memory unit, stores the input data for processing and stores the processed information for future use. Now memory unit stores the input data, it stores all the input data in the memory for processing and stores the processed information for future use. Whatever the result we are getting, the memory unit store it for the future use. So these are the main parts of the CPU. Okay. Now let's move to our output device. Now what are the output devices? Our monitor, our printer, our speaker and our plotter. These all are the output devices. With the help of output devices we are getting the result, final result. Output devices produce results after the data processing. Whatever the processing is going on inside the CPU, that is need to be finalized, and the various output devices are monitor, projector, printer, plotter, speakers. With the help of these devices we are getting our output. A monitor per screen per you can see the result. With the help of the printer we are getting the result on the paper. With the help of the speakers we can listen the results, and with the help now what is a plotter? Plotter is used to draw the lines on the paper. Okay. Now let's move to our storage devices. What are the storage devices? I hope that is clear to you. Output devices and processing devices. Now storage devices. The storage devices are used to store information. It is clear with its name, storage. So the function of storage device is to store the information. A temporary information is stored in the RAM. Whatever the information is temporary, that is stored in our RAM. What is the full form of RAM? Random access memory. You have learned in your previous class. Whereas permanent information is stored in the ROM. If we want to store information permanently, that is stored in our ROM, and we can say the full form of ROM is read-only memory, and whatever the information is temporary, that is stored in RAM. The RAM and ROM are called primary memory of the computer. These memories are called the primary memory of the computer. Now apart from the primary memory, the information is also stored in the secondary memory, like compact disc, digital versatile disc, pen drive, etc. Okay, our information is stored in our hard disk and compact disc, that we can call CD, DVD and pen drive. Nowadays we are using these devices. Pen drive we are using, CD we are using, DVD we are using to store the information. So these all are the storage devices. With the help of these devices we can store a large amount of information That is clear. Storage device is clear to you, I hope. Now let's move to the software part. Now what is software? A computer software is a collection of computer programs that provide instructions to the computer to perform specific tasks. Now the function of software, computer software is a collection of computer programs. What is computer software? It is a collection of computer programs that provide instruction. It gives the instruction to the computer to perform specific tasks. And there are three types of the software. First one is system software, second one is utility software, and third one is application software. So let us study about these softwares and their functions. Our number one is system software. System software controls the various operations performed by the computer hardware. Okay, it performs the operations that are performed by the computer hardware. It helps to operate the computer system. An operating system is an example of system software. The most important example is operating system. Is that clear? Now what is operating system? So let's study about the operating system. An operating system is a software that controls the overall activity of a computer system. Whatever the task computer is performing, whatever the function it is performing, it is controlled by the operating system, and it provides an interface between the user and the computer system. We can say it is an interface between the computer and the user. Suppose हम कोई लैंग्वेज किसी से हम टॉक करना चाह रहे हैं, इंटरेक्शन करना चाह रहे हैं, बट वी डोंट नो द लैंग्वेज, and we call a person that knows the language of the both persons. So that is the medium of exchanging our thoughts with the another person. That function our operating system is performing. It is an interface between the user and the computer system. We are the user, we are using the computer, so whatever we want that our computer should perform, that operating system is giving that instruction to the computer. Okay, so we can say that is a interface between the computer and the user. Now the following tasks are performed by an operating system. Whatever what operating system can do: number one, manages the system resources. For example, it allocates memory and CPU time to the task currently being executed. Okay, it manages the time of CPU and allocates memory and CPU time to the task currently being executed. Then number two, controls the transfer of data to and from various peripherals, which it controls the transfer of data to and from various peripherals such as keyboard, mouse, scanner, printer, etc. So we can say it can control and it can transfer the data from peripheral devices such as keyboard, mouse, scanner, printer, etc. Okay. Now third one is manages the system security and performance. It also manages our system security and performance. Now we can say some examples of computer operating system are Android, Microsoft, Windows, Windows XP, Windows 7 and Windows 8. These all are the example of operating system. The last one is Mac, OS X. These all are the example of operating system. Now there are many types of operating system. Let us study about the types of operating system. First one is single user operating system, second one is multi-user operating system, and third one is multitasking operating system. Okay, now first one is single user operating system. As it is clear with the name, single user means a single person can use the operating system. It allows only one user to access the data or to work on an application at a time. Only one user can use it, or only one application can be executed at the time. DOS is a single user operating system. Disk operating system, that is a single user operating system. Now second one is multi-user operating system. As it is clear with the name multi-user, it means several users can access the same data or the same at the same time. And the examples are Unix and Linux. These are the examples of multi-user operating system. Now multitasking operating system. Multitasking means the ability of the computer to run two or more applications at the same time. In this type of operating system, a computer can run two or more applications at the same time, and it allows multiple programs to share computer resources. For example, sending a file on the internet while listening to music. We can use it at the same time. So we may also send a file for printing besides doing the above tasks. Okay, at the same time we can do the different work. Now the operating system takes care of printing and other tasks being performed at the same time. Windows is a multitasking operating system. Windows is an example of multitasking operating system. So this is clear to you. Single user operating system, multi-user operating system and multitasking operating system. I hope आप लोगों को यहाँ तक चैप्टर समझ में आया होगा. Students, try to read the chapter again and again, and you can clear your doubts by listening the video. So rest of the chapter will continue in our next class. Okay, bye bye children.